So, welcome back for the second module of atomic and molecular structure. So, in the first module, we discussed about the introduction of atomic structure and then history of atomic structure. Now, we'll go for atomic and molecular orbitals. So, first of all, this theory depends upon quantum mechanics. So, first of all, we should know what is classical mechanics and what is quantum mechanics. So, in classical mechanics, it deals with macroscopic particles. Quantum mechanics deals with microscopic particles. And classical mechanics is based upon Newton's law of motion, whereas quantum mechanics depends on Heisenberg's uncertainty principle and de Broglie concept of dual nature of matter, that is particle nature and wave nature. Then classical mechanics is based on Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory, according to which any amount of energy can be emitted or absorbed continuously. Whereas quantum mechanics is based on Planck's quantum theory, according to which only discrete values of energy are emitted or absorbed. Okay. Then classical mechanics, the state of a system is defined by specifying all the forces acting on particles as well as their positions and velocities. That is, the future state can be predicted with certainty. Whereas in quantum mechanics, it gives us the probability of finding the particles at various locations in a space. Okay. So that is why for this atomic theory or atomic structure and molecular structure, we take the basis of quantum mechanics but not the classical mechanics. Okay. So because these are very microscopic particles, so here we bring into Heisenberg's uncertainty principle and de Broglie's concept of dual nature of matter, then Planck's quantum theory, and then we find out the probability of finding an electron. Okay? So that is why we follow quantum mechanics. Now, coming to the atomic, somewhat the terms and definitions which we are going to use in this atomic structure. So first one is orbital. So these represent the probability of finding an electron in any one place. So if you take specific place and say whether the electron can be found out in this place, that is called as an orbital. Okay. Then atomic orbitals, the region in space just outside the nucleus of the atom where the probability of finding the electrons is at the highest. Those are called as atomic orbitals. Then molecular orbitals, they are formed as a result from the overlap of two atomic orbitals, okay, where a pair of electrons occupy. So we'll see in our next slides what are these all. Just here we are going to define them. Okay? So then electron density. What is this electron density? So measure of probability of finding an electron in an orbital. Then wave function. Mathematical description of the volume of space occupied by an electron having certain amount of energy. The node, it is the place where the crest and trough meet. Then quantum mechanics, already I told you, is based on the wave properties of the matter, and quantization of energy is the consequence of all these properties. Okay. Now coming to the atomic orbitals. So the energy levels about the nucleus contain group of these atomic orbitals. So each orbital is designated as SPDF and has a unique energy associated with it and contain maximum of 2 electrons and varies in shape and spatial orientation. Okay. So we are mainly concerned with the s and p orbitals since most of the elements found in organic molecules have their electrons in the 1s, 2s and 2p orbitals. So actually organic compounds consist of carbon and hydrogen, right, which have only 1s and 2s orbitals. Right? So I think you are familiar with the electronic configurations and all, right? So for the shapes of f orbitals, they are quite complicated. Right? So higher d and f orbitals are utilized by elements further down in the periodic table. So the s orbital, coming to the s orbital, it is spherical, like a fuzzy hollow ball with its center at the nucleus of an atom. Then there are three p orbitals designated as px, py, and pz. Each p orbital is dumbbell shaped. Each consists of two lobes with atomic nucleus lying between them, and each has a nodal plane at the nucleus where the probability of electrons location is 0. Okay. So for any atom, there is only one s orbital. So the 1 represents the fact that orbital is in energy level closest to the nucleus. Okay. So the s refers to the shape of the orbital, and s orbitals are spherically symmetrical around the nucleus. For any atom, there is only one 2s orbital. See, there is only one 1s orbital, one 2s orbital. Okay. So this is similar to a 1s orbital, except that the region where the greatest chance of finding the electron is somewhat far away from the nucleus. So first there will be 1s, and then later there will be 2s, and here will be the nucleus. So if this is, suppose if this is the nucleus, then you have 1s and then 2s in the same way. So 2s will be somewhat far away from the nucleus. Then there is also a region of slightly higher electron density near the nucleus called as a spherical ring. For any atom, there is only one 3s orbital. Okay. The intensity of coloration indicates the positions where the electron is likely to be found on any plane cutting through the nucleus. So there are two spherical nodes in 3s orbital. So similarly, that is, first 1s is somewhat nearer to the nucleus, then 2s is somewhat far away from the nucleus, then 3s is far away from the nucleus. So similarly, like this, they are placed or positioned. Okay. Now these are the p orbitals. So the three p orbitals in the second shell of electrons are totally different from the 1s and 2s orbitals, because each p orbital consists of a dumbbell shaped. You can see here dumbbell. So what is that dumbbell? It's used in the gym, right? For weightlifting and all these things, right? So it looks like a dumbbell sheet on either side of the nodal plane that runs through the center of the nucleus. So this is the node. Okay. So here this is the dumbbell shaped p orbital. So their orientation is 90 degrees from each other in the three spatial directions and have identical energies and shapes. So chemists call them as degenerate orbitals. So degenerate orbitals are nothing but which have same energy. Okay? Because electrons in the three 2p orbitals are far away from the nucleus than those in the 2s orbital, they are at higher energy level. So because they are far away from the nucleus, so they have higher energy. So you can see here, this is because in between x and y-axis, this is px orbital, then this is the py orbital on the y-axis, and then this is the z orbital that is on the z-axis, so it is called as pz. Okay. Next, these are the shapes of d orbitals. So there are 5 d orbitals, that is dxy, dyz, dxz, dyz, dx square y square, and dz square. So you can see here the lobes are in between the axis, okay, or on the plane. So dxy. So these are placed in between x and y axis. Then x and z axis, right? And then this is y and z axis. Okay. Then x square and y square. So x and y axis, and then z square. Okay. So on the z axis. So there are 5 d orbitals, which we will be learning in our second part, that is regarding the crystal field theory. Okay. And then we have shapes of these f orbitals. Now coming to the molecular orbitals. So Bonding between the atoms occurs when they are in close proximity for the orbitals to overlap. So if orbitals get overlapped, that is atomic orbitals gets overlapped, then you will find this molecular orbital. So thus, when two atoms are brought close together to permeate their electron pair and go into a single orbital encompassing both nuclei. So as atoms form a bond, they interact very much like waves of body of water. So when two waves are traveling in same directions and one overtakes the other, okay, the amplitude of the new wave will be greater than the amplitude of either of the two than that it created it. So in contrast, when the two waves travel in opposite directions and they meet, their amplitude cancels each other. So a pair of electrons encompassing two or more nuclei is said to occupy a molecular orbital. So as with atomic orbitals, molecular orbital may not contain more than two electrons. So the molecular orbital represents a lower energy state system than do two separate atomic orbitals at the characteristic internuclear distance. Energy is liberated during the overlap and a stable covalent bond is formed. So you can see here, 1s overlap. Okay, so if it is addition, it forms a bonding orbital. If it is subtraction, then it forms a non-bonding orbital. Okay. Right. So in-phase overlap gives bonding molecular orbital, and the out-of-phase overlap forms an anti-bonding molecular orbital. So bonding molecular orbital always has lower energy than the energies of combining atomic orbitals. And anti-bonding molecular orbital has higher energy than the energies of the two separate atomic orbitals, leading to the repulsion. So one is addition, another one is repulsion. So you can see these are in plane and this is out of plane. Right? And it is represented by psi, that is the probability of finding an electron is represented as psi, and it is given by which equation? Schrodinger wave equation, that is dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square plus dou square psi by dou z square plus 8 pi square m by h square into e minus u gives rise to this entire equation. So this is the Schrodinger, this entire thing depends upon the Schrodinger wave equation. Right? So in a bonding molecular orbital, electron density is high between the two atoms, where it stabilizes the arrangement by attracting both the nuclei. So you can see formation of a sigma molecular orbital. So sigma bond is formed when there is direct or head-on overlap. Okay, so you can see this is called as direct or head-on overlap. Then this is px atomic orbital forming a sigma molecular orbital, and then this 1s atomic orbital forming bonding molecular orbital, and this is anti-bonding molecular orbital. So this is about our formation of atomic and molecular orbitals. So atomic orbitals, they are named as SPDF, and bonding molecular orbitals are of two types, that is sigma bond and pi bond. So pi bond is lateral overlap, okay, sigma bond is head-on overlap. Okay? And they may form bonding molecular orbitals or anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Thank you.